You don't even drink coffee.
Oh yeah, like a milkshake or.
Oh, you don't milkshake. Oh.
You don't want to say a milkshake, mate.
This includes venues as well. So when you go out, get that rig out before you get kicked out. That's something I live by.
Because I know we'd go to horse camps and you'd meet everyone, and then everyone you want to keep in touch with. You'd get on MSN and then.
You want to readdress that?
What?
What kind of camps are you going on?
Anyway, week of a lifetime. It was absolutely massive. I was all over the place, driving hours
Didn't
and
you
hours
just
a
do
day.
your weekly update?
Well, that was not it. I didn't
There we go.
All right.
I don't know if I've done this video right, mate. It's like, it's looking at me in a weird angle.
No, well, it's experimental, man. It's all testing the boundaries. Season 3 is when we really hit our straps, I reckon.
Honestly, yeah. Once we've got a few more eps in the bank,
Yeah.
and then
I'm looking
people
forward
love
to
us.
it, man. Season 3, our own YouTube channel as well. It's going to be, it's the beginning of an era.
That's a big year.
It is
Yeah,
a big year.
definitely.
Yeah, it's been a big week as well, Dos, here on the Road Guide.
Love a big week.
We
love a big week.
Mate, I've just been burning the candle at both ends, and do you know what? I don't know if I'm physically suffering the side effects of that you'd think you would. I'm feeling, I'm feeling charged. I'm feeling ambitious. I'm feeling like I'm accomplishing stuff, and that constant kind of accomplishment is recharging the batteries from the lack of sleep, which is. Mate, I've had a bloody absolute ripper of a week. I've been renovating like crazy. We've been watching The Block, which has just been an absolute, motivation factory. I've been killing it at work. Quite frankly, I was covering the federal budget last night. I'm going to stop there before you can hurt me with No One Cares.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know. I'm learning season 2. I'm picking up the common strats. Obviously things with Danny going fantastic. Met Danny on the pod a couple of weeks ago. Which has just been going really good. I haven't been exercising though, at all. Oof. And I noticed the other day for the first time, like boob action, genuine sort of soft pectoral action.
Oh, we're still talking about you. Oof. I was like, bro, this is a bit of a PG podcast. No. I have the opposite, man. Like, obviously, I probably gym a little bit more than you, but like when I run. And I know that my chest, I put on enough mass in my chest, like I can feel my pecs bounce a little bit, and I feel alpha, man.
This is disgusting.
It makes me feel like a real man.
Have you mentioned the boob sweat you get though? The marks you get? You get genuine like under boob sweat happening there. I
do get a bit of under boob. Yeah. Well, it's because that's where it goes. It goes down the middle of your pecs, and then it spreads across underneath your boobs. It's only natural.
I'm going to learn about it, I think. My body's heading that way. I'm getting a bit of a pear shape happening.
It's comments like this that I really regret making these comments when half our listeners are only listeners and not physically watching and seeing that I'm not as fat as these comments suggest.
I love it. If you have never seen the pod on YouTube, on my channel for now, don't look. Just keep listening and keep picturing who you think we might be, because you'll probably only be disappointed, frankly. It always ends that way. I work in radio. They're always like, oh, I thought you'd be shorter and fatter, or I thought you'd, they say something really derogatory like that. But anyway. But yeah, it's been a big week for me, mate. Big week.
Oof. Yeah. So your lack of sleep, is that just, I feel like that's just the price you pay when you hang out with me. It's just a common denominator after people have sort of spent a long period of time with me. They just don't sleep in that time. There's no time to sleep.
Well, it's interesting. Once you left, I think it was that Saturday night, I only got my first sleep. And man, I slept for a good 12 hours. I think I'm still riding that big sleep this whole week. It's been sick.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah. My week's been, it's been pretty full on as well, actually. I wouldn't say burning the candle from both ends because I'm not as poetic. I'd probably say more of a bushfire vibe. Just a bit of this, bit of that, just running around, causing a bit of chaos. Obviously, I was in Longreach and then flew straight to Noosa. Spent 4 days there and did not see the sun. It was very depressing on that element.
Whoa.
And then the day I left, 32 degrees. And I was like, oh my God. And now back to Melbourne where it's cloudy, but you expect it to be cloudy. So at least it's honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And then other than that, just full on summer bod time.
Really?
Yeah, man, it's ready to. Well, South American bod time.
True.
Yeah, that's what.
Carnival bod. You want to be there with
yeah,
all of those like hairless, sweaty, ripped Brazilians, and you want to fit in.
Oh yeah, I want to fit in with my bod and my underboob sweat.
You want to have the G-string speedo on, do you? Honestly, you should. Honestly, we should. We should definitely work that out.
Do we get a Brazilian in Brazil? I know we spoke about this in the past.
Big fan.
But
big fan of Brazil.
because you're not as hairy as me as well.
No, I'm not. I'm profoundly not. And I can tell you that first one I got was traumatic. I almost whited out. I think it was. Crazy. I saw the light. I think that's what it was. I wasn't like going faint. I just was genuinely that close to death. But from then on, I learned to love the pain, and not in a sexual way. Definitely not. I was kind of worried about that at first, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Honestly, I had a similar situation when I got my first ever massage. I thought it was going to be a bit sexual. I was like, oh no, I'm not sure about this.
Could this be harassment? Can I really make this person uncomfortable?
You see it in movies all the time. People get like a boner or something.
Yeah.
And I got a massage, and like sports massage, and I was nearly crying, man. I was in so much pain.
It was lifeless.
Dude, even my soul was lifeless. It was going that hard.
Yeah, no. Look, the people that can get aroused in a sports massage, they are the true demons of the world, I reckon. They're the people that just want to rough. Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Well, speaking of rough, we've got the road guide to rejection.
Very rough. One of the roughest things because it hits you on every level because it makes you feel inadequate as a person.
Yeah, it's definitely an emotional sort of rough. It gets you where your big boobs and your underboob sweat can't protect you.
Oh yeah, and your hairy bloody Brazilian line as well. It makes you feel like exposes you for who you are really. And I say that, but I mean the viewers they've seen me, they know, man, this guy can't be getting rejected that often, and you'd be right. Really doesn't happen that often. I can't say I've got a huge pool of experience. No, but Dos has been out with me to the clubs numerous times. He knows that I strike out hard. I've had the odd, very few crippling like relationship rejections, like where someone doesn't want the relationship after me sort of thinking that would have been a good idea. But yeah, those moments definitely. I think we can relate on numerous levels to all kinds of rejection.
Yeah, I think so. Like I've very much made my living out of being rejected. So like at uni you have career days. That's me in the booth. I'm in the rejection booth. I'm there to teach everybody the way.
Hand out pamphlets and brochures and like instructional videos and stuff.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how many times I get rejected while handing out rejection pamphlets. It's a real Spider-Man meme moment where we're just pointing at each other.
Actually, we should clarify. We're not talking about rejection in the sense of, are we talking about just romantic rejection at the moment, or are we sort of gearing it towards rejection in general?
All types of rejection, I reckon.
Really? Okay,
okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let me just look at my notes here. No, let's jump into it, mate. Well, actually, step one, and this is true for all kinds of rejection. It's inevitable. And show me a person that's never experienced rejection, and you'd show me someone that's probably never had a shot or never had a crack, quite frankly. Especially you as a listener, as a roger. Let's face it, I know you guys, guys and girls, you experience rejection a lot. That's why you're here with us. You're someone that has seen the depths of human emotion and crushed and devastation from rejection. So embrace it, accept it as inevitable, and move on with your life.
And like as a roger, I presume you're telling 7 people about the Road Guide podcast, and one in those 7 might reject you and not actually listen to it.
What?
So I know. Yeah, just theoretically this could happen, and this would be a good example of rejection and how these steps can sort of help you.
Yeah.
And step 2, once that person rejects you, pretend it never hurt you. You're invincible.
You want to repress it. Exactly.
Yeah, you want to repress it. You want to bury that deep down, where no one's going to see it, no one's going to find it. It won't come back up. No. That's the point. It's rejection.
Not if you bury it deep enough. And that's what you've got to get really good at, is really putting that in deep and putting it with all the other things that you've buried deep, and just sort of, package dealing all of those very, very deep, never to come up, never to, possibly rear its ugly head at any point in your life.
Exactly. You bury it down with those AFL draft dreams, where it's owning your own fish and chip shop, all that sort of stuff that just never eventuated, where it's all safe and out of painstaking memory.
Yeah, no, that's a healthy suggestion, and definitely one almost worth revisiting in the Serious 60 as great, serious advice. Step 3 for me is, and you might think this is a bit cliche, and people will say, oh, that person's rebounding, but you got to rebound hard. Whether it be from a relationship, or whether it be from a job, or from the AFL, or maybe you thought that you shouldn't have been the backup quarterback for Queensland. Maybe you thought you brought those skills, and that you didn't want to just carry water for the entire weekend you went to Canberra. You want to rebound hard. You want to show them that you're doing good. In fact, you're doing great. And even if they think, oh man, that person's just compensating because they're rejected. The thing is, even if you're faking it, even if you're going to the snow all of a sudden to go, snowboarding, or maybe you've just booked a last minute flight to, the ACT, which would be a sweet destination to rebound to.
Mate, are we sponsored by the ACT Tourism or something? I've never heard Canberra brought up twice in 2 different sentences in a row.
You're right. I'm wondering what the ACT, how there's the slogan, the Sunshine State or whatever. What's the ACT? Just a ton of boring shit. I'm sorry, ACT listeners, we actually do have them. No Tasmanian listeners,
do we?
Actually. We do. Remember, we looked at the analytics.
Yeah.
No one in Tasmania, and that hurts because we love Tasmania, but it could also be.
Yeah, we've been nice to them.
I know. Well, we've kind of been nice. We've kind of been a bit mean. I think we've pulled up some stereotypes. But anyway, back to the point here. Rebound hard, because even if you're faking it, even if you're doing stuff you don't necessarily even identify with, at least you're doing it. You're still technically there. You're still technically snowboarding, even if it's to prove to someone that you're cool. You're still technically going out on a date with someone, even if that person you've got no connection with. But maybe maybe you could have connection with that person. I just reckon you rebound hard, because you never know in those moments. You actually find something you enjoy when you're trying to, brush it off as no big deal.
Yeah, I think Instagram's a good platform for that, social media, to sort of shove that down people's throats that you're doing good when you're not.
Life's perfect. Life's great.
Yeah, life's perfect. Life's always perfect on Instagram.
Yeah, what soulmate? What soulmate? I know what you're talking about.
I don't need one. Yeah, well, step 4, find someone that's got it worse off than you. It'll lift your morale in your darkest moments. We're big on, befriending the 1%.
Definitely.
But you really want to befriend someone in the 99%.
And really on the low end of that 99% as well. Not the top level 99%er. You want the low end 99%er.
Yeah, not like you that's about 97, that's nearly up there at the 1. Someone a bit more on the battler level like me at 26%.
Yeah, you want someone from 26% and down, I think. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah. And once you sort of go through all the steps, once you've been rejected, they'll make you feel good. And sort of once all of that charade's out of the way, step 5, cry.
Yeah.
Just, get in the shower, turn it on, and just have a good old fashioned shower cry.
It's been tough. It's been tough for you.
Yeah.
You repressed it for so long. You had those great Insta moments that you were showing people that you were doing stuff. Maybe you even went to talk to your 26%er mate, and they might have had a rare win, like a $5 scratchy. They made back $7 or something. And you're like, man, nothing's going for me. You just got to let that wave crash, man. You got to let that wave crash, and you got to cry it out big time. Yeah,
it's a big cycle. It's a cycle. Once you're sort of refreshed with that cry, you actually do feel quite refreshed,
mate.
And it's something I miss a lot from lockdown, because it was the shower cries. It was just really reset you. You get out of there, you're like, I'm ready for the day now.
Yeah, mate. I mean, fair cop. Crying, man. Crying is so underrated. I'm always like, if I get a chance to cry, I'm gonna let that happen, just because it is cathartic. I don't want to gas up being an emotional wreck too much, but man, having a good cry, just let that happen. Embrace it.
Yeah.
It tends to feel pretty good, actually, especially if you get really dramatic about it. Maybe you go like, get some wailing happening, man. Let
100%. Watch The Notebook, watch a sad movie, watch Click, and just let those tears run.
Oh, stop!
You
We
know?
need to stop. I mean, you're breaking me up here, man. I'm thinking about Click now. You know, this is heavy.
I think Click is the saddest movie I've ever seen.
It's got to be in my top. It's my top 3, but in my top 2 of my top 3, I reckon. Yeah, Click is definitely that sad.
Oof, it just hits a chord. It hits a chord that, like, chick flicks, I feel like, a lot of people that are a bit more emotionally in tune will cry. And then Click, for the people that just don't think they're ever going to cry, it just gets you.
Yeah.
It gets you when you don't expect it.
No.
And,
Jed and I were even talking about I Am Legend and how that movie just got people and wrecked them. I wasn't even a dog person when I Am Legend came out, but when that big moment with the doggo dying happened, man, I was like, oof, that speaks to me in a big way. It's one of those surprise sad moments, which was definitely probably the most memorable moment from the show.
Dude, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't feel anything when animals die in movies.
Oh no, bro! We need to cut that. We need to cut that. That is psychopathic, man. That's like serial killer stuff. Anyone that has that level of lack of emotion towards animals, we can't do this. This is bad for your image, man. You need to wrap this up. You got to cry when. I don't know what to say.
I don't get it. Like Marley and Me, everyone's like, "Oh, it's so sad." I was like, that was a really untrained dog. Like, really bugged me.
I got to watch Marley and Me. I haven't seen it, which is a shocker. And Red Dog, both movies I think.
Oh, Red Dog's good.
Yeah.
But I still didn't cry. I was like, nah, he had a good bloody life.
This is huge. I've got to watch Marley and Me now. that dog just had behavioural problems. I don't know. I don't know what the context is. But I'll have to check that out. I'll get back to you on the next pod for sure. Hey, mate.
Yeah.
You were talking about having your 26%ers, right, in your life. I think
I reckon we got a 13%er on for the big call today.
Who have you got?
We've got crowd favorite. So he's been on one podcast before.
Yeah.
And then we tried to get him on again, but his audio was so bad that we had to reject him and cut the whole segment, which was earlier this season. So he's here for redemption.
Hang on. Then didn't we have him on a third time, but then we dropped him for Ben Jones?
We dropped him because
his fourth visit, his fourth appearance, his fourth non-appearance on the Road Guide. Amazing. Yeah. We got Christian on the phone, also one of our big producers on Instagram, Meme King. So we really appreciate that. He's a bona fide roger. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, boys. I don't know if I should say thanks at this stage.
You need to go through those previous steps, man. We've got it all sorted for you. You can handle the crushing sort of rejection.
I was going to make the joke that I haven't had rejection, but then here we go. I've got rejected straight up.
Hey, you walked on the show rejected.
This is going to be really. You're going to see all 5 steps as soon as I finish. I'm just going to walk and cry.
That's our goal. We want you to finish the big call in tears and letting all of that repressed sadness up to the surface. Christian, thank you so much for coming on. We do appreciate you. You're almost one of the backbones or the staples of the Road Guide. So thanks so much for jumping on. How's life been treating you recently?
Oh, honestly, life's been pretty good. I've just been doing stuff. I had a wedding.
Congratulations.
Christian
Christian
forgot to record himself.
I thought I clicked record, but I didn't.
To be fair, that's the first time we've had someone not click record.
There you go. Well, this could have been.
Yeah,
imagine he didn't press record, and that was the 5th time we had him on the pod.
5th time,
on the pod.
Rejection. Rejection, failure, cry. What else are we going for today?
Yeah.
The big 3.
Yeah.
I reckon this would be his last chance if he did blow it.
Yeah. So
fuck it. No memes for you boys.
No memes. Yeah, you cut off. So you were just saying you haven't really experienced much rejection, Christian. You must be an absolute animal, an absolute stud. I don't suppose your big call has anything to do with rejection today.
No, I tried to think of one.
But you've repressed it so far. I can't believe it. You can't.
Pretty much, repression has worked well all the way through the steps there. But kind of repressed them all. No, I think I've just gone with the tried and true classic that I tried to do last time, and then obviously got cut.
Yeah, but like, should you do it then? Maybe the audio was fine, and we just didn't like your big call.
Man, this is.
I know silence. I know silence isn't good, but I'm death staring now.
Chris is getting rejected live on air.
Christian, for those that aren't listening, the big call, we call up someone, we make a big call to a friend or to a roger, could be you listening right now, and we tell them to give us a situation in their life where they had to make a big call. And before they tell us what they did, they give us a chance to say what we would have done. Christian, what have you cooked up for us this time?
Well, mine has to do with a bit of quitting your job type situation, which obviously probably can be used for the last couple of episodes, I think, and taking sickies, but is what it is. No, essentially, a past job I worked at. I'm not going to name names just for legal purposes here, but what is it? We found out at about 7:00 the night of I just been at footy training that the place I was working at was getting taken over by someone that I did not like. It was an old boss. I'm not a fan of him. They'll leave it at that. Essentially,
Can we say his name? I hate this guy. I met him like twice, and I'm like, he's like one of the worst humans I've ever met.
No, we definitely can't say his name now, but
After my last sentence was worst human I've ever met.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's potential repercussions here, so I'm saying no.
Yeah.
If we get enough
Even if my
comments,
face is
though,
on
we
now.
will reveal it.
Yeah, people power. People power.
No, but essentially, we had a couple choices on what to do. Basically, on the way to quit, whether we just, take it on the chin, do it normally and just go and be like, I quit. Or do you just cause a gigantic ruckus and make your life as much of a pain as possible?
Let's let the Rogers know what your job is. How much would you be stitching up not only your new employer, but also what industry were you in? What were you responsible for?
Because if you're a cop, I'm not sure you should go out with a big bang. I think
Guns blazing, double barrels.
This was hospitality.
Okay, a bit lower stakes than a murderous rampage.
Lower stakes, not career stakes, just maybe lifestyle stakes.
Yeah. All right, so you had a big event the next day. You just get the word that this ratbag, bloody degenerate named Carl Islands. So wow, that's the Carl Islands is the first thing I could come up with. That's not his real name. If you are listening and your name's Carl Islands, then we're not talking about you. I promise. Genuinely.
We'll get you on the pod.
Yeah, get
because
on
that's
the pod.
a sick name. The road guide to naming your kid.
Yeah,
the road guide to redemption.
Literally. All right, so that's the situation. You're coming into work the next day then?
Yeah, coming into work the next day, and it's how gracefully do you take this? Do you go all out, or do you just go, not for me, see you later?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're definitely quitting. It sounds like.
Oh, absolutely. Quitting is the only option.
Yeah.
Dossel, you've done a bit of hospitality. You've put up some tents and some various things. What would you do in this scenario?
I had a shocking boss too in hospo. It was lucky COVID got me out of there, because my last couple of weeks there, I was like, just say something to me, and I will walk out right now. So I think, if I had time to really think about it, and I knew that I was out, what would I do? What would I do?
Would you want to stitch him up as much as possible?
Oh, definitely. I'd maybe work and then let my mates know. Oh, sorry, I lost my mic. I'd let my mates know that I was working, so that they come in and I'd just be like triple shotting every drink they have.
That is a creative solution. That's actually not a bad idea. Although that'd be pretty illegal, would it? Or is that kind of untraceable?
Maybe I could argue I was untrained or something,
And
because then it'd fall back
put it
on him.
them. I don't even have an RSA. This guy's so
Oh
dodgy.
yes, cancel my RSA. So,
This guy's employing
He's like-
people like me. He's unchained.
if you're throwing me under the bus, you're coming with me.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Do you know what? Sorry, boys, but if it was me,
Coward.
it would,
Here we go. Here goes the PC response.
PC. This is PC woke culture gone bad. It's
101.
I would I would probably do the last shift. Ooh, I just haven't been in a hospo job.
You do the full shift.
I probably would. I just have
Like,
too much respect for authority, mate.
You could message him before the shift if you want to be a full Karen. Just be like, look, I'm not coming in. I'm done.
Do you know what? If quitting is the only option, and maybe if it was this guy's such a big dirtbag, and I do believe in standing up to dirtbags.
So actually,
I think I would.
You've never met this guy, so I'll just give you a little example.
Great.
So like when we'd come in and Christian would be working in the bar and he'd service drinks, like he'd print off the boss would come around in front of all of us, still at the bar, print the receipt off and look at it and make sure it matches the drinks we're drinking.
Oh.
And,
Yeah. That's the standard.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
That's also that's the tip of the iceberg. Tip of the iceberg.
And Christian worked for this guy for years.
Oh man, I'm chucking a sickie then, or I'm not coming in. I'm done. I'm chucking it out of the blue sickie. I can't do it, mate. Catch you later. It's been real.
Yeah, I guess you get a little bit of money for the sickie, and obviously, we learn a lot from the last episode of the Road Guide to the Sickie, 2 episodes ago. I can't knock it.
Yeah.
It's still
Thanks for talking.
It's still
this is why
cross response.
Friends like you, that's good. You talked me out of doing the absolute shill move of going in. I do stand strongly by just not going into work, but maybe giving him a heads up.
Get a bit of money for it because you
might
get
as well.
paid for the sickie.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Christian, what do you do?
Keep
in
pulling a
this actual
sickie.
situation?
Oh, actually, we can one up yours. Keep pulling the sickie until you run out of sick days or he fires you. There you go.
Eternal sickie.
The eternal sickie.
Yeah. That's a strat. That's a good one, actually. That's on. Someone should test that.
Well, look, unfortunately, I couldn't pull the sickie as a casual because, no bloody sick days.
Hospo life.
Hospo life. Anyways, I think I went above and beyond the level of petty that you guys were thinking. But essentially, after footy training, I've raced back home, showered, driven into work because at that point it was shut. And what we did was a few of us went back in. We grabbed not everything of importance, but like there was some new shelves we put in that made spirits look really nice. Uninstalled them. Wine racks.
Oh my God.
Uninstalled them.
Oh, wow.
All the while, but, we're helping ourselves to a couple of the nice whiskeys and stuff like that.
Were you drinking on the job in this situation? Were you actually like pouring drinks and enjoying it, or?
At this point, the place was shut, and so absolutely I was...
Wow, no cameras, no repercussions?
Well, there might have been
bring it up.
repercussions, but it's years ago. This could be refreshing it. No, anyway, and then we grabbed the remaining, a couple of the remaining good bottles, and we're drinking some of that. There were some nice couches that needed to be taken out because they were brought in by the current manager. So we went and took them out.
What the
and then on top of that,
hell?
when this is, I think this was the most petty thing we did.
Pettier than
When we
taking the shelves.
Well, when we were putting the glasses and the drinks, like all the different spirits, back up on the shelf, all we did was we put I think it was mainly me, but I put up all these things, and it was like I'd put like a whiskey, a gin, or whatever, the glasses in between that, so it was all completely out of order and all over different shelves. I don't think we took the menus, but we nearly did. Yeah, honestly, we just caused chaos because, like I said, this man, not a good man.
Oh, wow. That is, I'm sorry, but the shelves thing, that is probably one of the pettiest things I've ever heard. And Christian, I'm so happy for you. It sounded like you really had your catharsis right there on that night.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Didn't need a sad cry that night. It was a happy cry. And
it was a happy cry. We love a happy cry.
We do. Well, hopefully you can happy cry to end the pod here, Christian. We really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for sharing that story. Probably the pettiest thing I might have ever heard someone do, and for a good cause. If anyone's listening on any platform and you have done something pettier, whether it be vengeance for a boss or whatever, we'd love to hear it, because that's the winner of the Petty Olympics for me at the moment. Cheers, Christian.
We
No
appreciate
worries
it.
at all, boys. And just before I hop off, I did want to, I'm not going to shout out my Instagram here, but I'm going to shout out the fact that Movember is coming up. I am doing it. We should all be raising some money for good cause towards men's mental health. The Rogers should bound together, get together and raise some money.
Mate, Christian, there you go. There's a Serious 60 sorted. Thank you so much for that. That's much appreciated. Definitely Movember, what a great cause. One that's also close to your heart, Dossel, and your brother's heart as well. Clearly you've done that in the past.
Yeah, we're certainly out of struggles, so it's a good opportunity to represent men's health. I was 50-50 on doing it this year, and I think Christian putting me on the spot in front of all the Rogers is going to
do it.
Is going to force me to have to do it this year.
The handlebars are back, baby.
The handlebars will be back.
Do you just wear the handlebars the entire time, or will you grow it into the handlebars in the month?
So, yeah, what I did last time was I shaved into a goatee first, and then I went handlebars, and then I was going to finish with the mo, for November. But I've just loved the handlebars, and I kept them for like 2 weeks after November, and I was like, all right, now's the time. But I get around it. I don't mind it. So yeah, I don't mind it. We do it again.
Very tempting. I love mustache as well.
I want to see Prost with a mustache. I don't think I've ever seen you with a mustache.
Mate, mustache is all round.
I've been a bit of a shill for Movember. I normally take part in it, but I don't do any of the actual good stuff that you're supposed to do with Movember. So maybe this year I change that. I become a decent, productive member of society and have an actual crack and do a really god ugly mustache. I reckon that really gets people talking. So, cheers, Christian. Thanks for putting us on the spot there. Really appreciate your time, and we'll chat again soon, no doubt. Numerous times before anything actually gets to air on the podcast.
Yeah, no stress at all, boys. I'm happy to put you on the spot. There's even another one. It's like Movember, where you have to run 60K in the month. So that could be you, Pros.
Boy, yeah, mate, 60K in a week. I mean, I did that 60K in a few days.
Back in the day, the current Pros isn't quite there. I did start
the episode by saying I'm an absolute wreck at the moment. Cheers, Christian.
Yeah.
Dos, what about you? I hear you're going out in search of rejection tonight.
Always am. I think actually I'm gonna divert that chat, and I'm gonna push it back towards I think like it is important to actually sort of be there for your mates when they do struggle with, like, when their rejection is sort of a bit more serious than other situations.
Yeah,
there's definitely a place to really sort of make more of an effort to really understand the struggle and make sure they're doing all right. I actually had a mate message me today because I had a couple of struggles at the moment with work, and he's just like, he messaged me. He's like, I know we take the piss out of you a bit for it, but he's like, mate, if you're actually struggling, I'm happy to have a chat. I'm happy to be here for a vent. And I was quite surprised because like I'm fine. I'm doing everything all good. But it was still it was nice to have someone at least, ask if you're all right.
Man, nice. That's so sweet. That is so true. It's you can kind of tell with your mates. It's not all the time. Definitely not all the time. That's often the case, as you can't tell. But when you can tell, if you can do something unprompted or unsolicited, sort of like that, it means extra. It means extra because it means that person kind of understands you a bit as well. So definitely worth, even if they say, no, I'm actually chilling, life's going really good, then so be it. But definitely worth checking in with your mates for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Like, after all, if they're all good, you send a message, one message.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's. I know it's a real. I don't mind ending with the Serious 60 to be like, have a think about things. We speak a lot of wild shit for the first 30 minutes of these episodes, and then we have a little 60 seconds to be like, all right, think deep.
Yeah. Do you know what we should do? Just as a final note for Movember, we should have a different Mo style for each pod we do in November. 4 different Mo
like
styles
that.
or 3 different Mo styles, whatever we end up doing.
You're good.
That'd be the way to go. And I'd just also like to say for everyone that's gotten around us on Insta, on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever program, podcast platform you listen on YouTube, love the comments as well. That's a good place to go and comment. And you can find all that on our Instagram at the Road Guide. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. We had a pretty. It's good to know we had a bit of a check-in on some of our analytics, and it was really heartwarming and reassuring to know that we do have, people listening and people that actually, care to tune in and listen. So we love hearing from you as well.
Top 50%. We're in the top
Congrats,
50% of
Congrats.
podcasts.
Oh, huge. Huge achievement.
For people that film while we're on a couch, I got a mic attached to my beard. Like, it's shambles.
Yeah.
Our logo is handwritten.
Yeah.
Grivel.
Yeah.
We're doing all right.
It's good. And definitely hope to hear more from the Rogers as well. So we know you're listening. Just come up and poke your head up and say hello. On that note, Dos, I don't know if I've said this one before, but I was going to say rogue your boat, but I feel like I might have said that, so I'm not sure.
No, I don't think you have, man. Ride with that.
Rogue your boat.
Rogue. Gently down the guide. Oh, there we go. We're onto something there.
Maybe. Let's not get too carried away. Catch you, mate.
Thanks.